Welcome to the Beer Experience. Every week we strive to bring you new and exciting things in the beer world. But every now and again we come across something that's very exciting for us. Recently, my friend Spike, brewmaster here at Terrapin Brewing Company, contacted me about brewing a spiced pumpkin lager with them here under their side project ales. And of course, being big fans of everything these guys do here, in addition to being good friends of mine, so it was a no-brainer for me. These guys were gracious enough here at Terrapin today to allow us to bring the beer experience along, so you at home could experience this as well. So I'm excited and I hope you are too, so let's go inside and get started. So here we are with Spike. We're ready to get started with our pumpkin lager here at Terrapin today. And first off, I want to say I'm a huge fan of all the beers you guys are brewing here and everything you guys are doing.
Awesome.
And it's an honor for me to come out and brew this pumpkin lager with you today. Spike and I first met, I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 years ago in the beer world.
Yep.
And since then it's opened up the Terrapin Beer Company. And you guys have been here in Athens since about 1.5 years now, right?
Yeah, December 2007.
That's awesome. And everything you guys are doing has just been phenomenal coming out of here. And in my opinion, the beers just keep getting better and better, and the side projects and everything are just awesome. Lots of fun. So we're doing this, the pumpkin lager today. You want to tell us just a little bit about what inspired this recipe? And,
well, we sit down every year and we basically plan out our side project series of beers, which are one-off series. Basically, I brew something once and that's it. You know, you probably have the 90 Shelling or the, the Rogan Rausch beer or the Gamma Ray, stuff like that. So Dustin, our sales guy, always wanted us to do a pumpkin beer. So I thought about it, and I've never really brewed with a lot of spices, so I was kind of like, I don't know, but I kind of thought about a little bit more, and I said, well, why don't we do a traditional Oktoberfest and put pumpkin in it and pumpkin spicing and call it Pumpkin Fest. So there we have it, but I still really wasn't unsure of the spices, and that's why I picked up the phone and called you and said, Don, I remember you made a pumpkin beer, a lot of pumpkin beers, so help me out with the spices, and that was that.
Man, I appreciate it. It's an honor coming up here and brewing with you guys. So what do you say we go mash in and get this thing started?
I think we should before it gets too late.
Absolutely. Excellent. Yeah. Spike, tell us a little bit about the mashing process and then a little bit about our grain bill we got today for the pumpkin lager.
Yeah, when we talk about mashing here, basically we are taking the grains that have been run through the mill and cracked open to expose the starch. Behind me is our lauter vessel. We have a combination mash lauter tun, and we basically mix water with the dry grain, and as we mix it up, it almost looks like an oatmeal or porridge consistency. So as the dry grist hits the water, we call that mashing. For this beer, we're going to settle in at about 152 degrees. Over 1 pound of pumpkin per barrel, kids.
Here we are, we're getting the first glimpse of the color of the pumpkin lager here. The color we're going for is a traditional Oktoberfest, very copper, full color. And as you can see right here, we're already getting a real nice color extraction, and looks like we're spot on with the color we're looking for at this point.
While it's sitting, we're going to do what's called warloffing, and basically taking the cloudy wort and replacing it and putting it on the top and recirculating it until the wort runs clear, and that takes about an hour or so, and then after that we run it over to the kettle, and that process takes about 2 hours. Alright, we're just checking the clarity and the color on this pumpkin beer. We've been warloffing for almost an hour now, so it's still is a little hazy with a little chunks coming through, so we probably got about another 15 minutes and this thing will clear up real nice, but I think it's going to be a really pretty color.
Very nice color. So we just started transferring into the kettle now. What we're doing is a process called sparging. We're transferring from the mash tun to the kettle. This is where the grains are actually separated, and now we've got the liquid wort, which is the pre-beer. Eventually it's going to be the sugars that are going to ferment into alcohol.
Yeah, guys.
So you can see how rich and dark the wort is right now. This is basically a concentrated wort. What we're going to do during sparging is adding more hot water to the mash over in the mash tun, basically diluting this down. So this is what we call the first runnings.
We are already mashed in and going over to kettle, so the next thing we need to do is weigh out our hops, and for this particular Pumpkin Fest beer, I'm using Vanguard, which is like an American Hallertauer blend, and then Hallertauer Herzbruckers as well. So one actual German hop and one pseudo-German hop.
Okay.
So just keep the bitterness nice and clean. I'm not going very high on the bitterness, probably about the 23 to 25 BUs, because we are going to spice this with pumpkin spice and ginger and cinnamon and all that good stuff. So that'll be perceived bitterness in the end product. So I want to keep the hopping rate low, so I don't overbitter the beer, so you don't get that cloying bitterness in the pumpkin beer.
Absolutely, and the spices come out a lot better.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and then, right, you don't want to use any flavor hops. You want to keep all the hops in the background so you really get the cinnamon and the allspice and the pumpkin spice and all that good stuff.
I love me some fresh hops, man.
Lots of the Hallertauers.
Dude, you guys are gonna have some killer hops out back in the next couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yum, yum.
Holes are hops, kids.
Well, it smells awesome in here, Spike.
Sure does.
Like a pumpkin pie in here. So we got our spices here. We've got some allspice, pumpkin pie spice, some cinnamon, ginger, and a little bit of clove down here. Noodle bag. And so yeah, let's weigh in some spices. Oh yeah.
We're looking for 48 grams of this yummy, delicious stuff.
I always like the way the pumpkin smells in the brewery. Everybody around you will know that you're brewing pumpkin too.
It smells delicious.
Yeah, it does. It really does. This is a lot of spice. And this still should be pretty subtle on the flavor. You know, initially as you taste the wort, it will taste very, very spicy. And then you'll notice through the fermentation, how it kind of mellows out, and then we can come back and hit it with a little bit more spice.
All right, so next we're going to do 48 ounces of the ginger.
Because this will be, my first time with doing a lager with this. This has always been an ale for me.
Sure.
So I think that's going to be a nice, interesting twist.
Oh yes, at Terrapin we love to twist.
Yeah, you notice on this we use a lot of the cinnamon and ginger, which is kind of a traditional pumpkin pie recipe, which is originally where I came up with the spices for the pumpkin ale up at Cottonwood that we used to do. But with the ginger, a lot of ginger and a lot of cinnamon. And the pumpkin pie spice is a little bit of each of the different spices, but it's always one that I use some in as well.
Just because it's a pumpkin beer.
Exactly, you got to have some pumpkin pie spice. That's right. Just like the pumpkins that are added in the mash.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
All right, so I guess we get these out by the kettle for our Whirlpool edition, and maybe we can take a tour of the brewery, if you don't mind.
Oh, that'd be great. We got time, so let's do it.
Okay, awesome.
Terrapin, we kick our hops as